Apropos of nothing, I wanted to make a video listing the Kingdom Hearts franchise to me, favorite to least favorite. Well, I guess least favorite to favorite because I'll start with the least and then go up to the most favorite. So there's there's 9 games really in the franchise, and I'm not gonna include like back cover and 0.2 Birth by Sleep because those aren't really games. I mean, one is just straight up a movie, so that's just not gonna be included regardless. But 0.2 is like a demo. If you're gonna have that on the list, just include it with KH3. But there's 9 games like KH1, Chain of Memories, KH2, Days, Birth by Sleep, Coded, Dream Drop Distance, KH3, and the Key series in general. I mean, like Unchained Key, Union Cross Key, that can all be lumped together. So there's 9 in total. So from least favorite to most favorite, at number 9 is gonna be Union Cross slash Unchained Key slash whatever, because obviously that's gonna be in last place. Like no one actually plays the Key series to have a good time, you know? It's like if you're checking up on Union Cross, you only want to see what they're gonna do with like Ventus and Lorium and whoever. You know, you're just like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, cool. I'm gonna need to know this for Kingdom Hearts 4, but you don't really give a shit about it. So that goes in ninth place. Eighth place is Coded. You have to give Coded its props, well, Recoded at least, in the sense that it does have really refined gameplay. You know, like I can find myself just turning Recoded back on and then just running around doing stuff. Like it's not bad gameplay. It does what it does well. You don't expect much of it because it's called Recoded and it's a handheld and it's just pretty much filler. But it's not the worst thing in the world, you know? Like it does have pretty good gameplay for what it is. The leveling system's fine. It's just like you've been to these worlds, you've been through this story. It's nothing new, it's nothing interesting. It's just you know, it's not fun. So that obviously comes in last place. Not because it's not like a fun game. It's just we didn't need it. We didn't need a whole game to go over this story. So seventh place is seventh place is kind of a toss up, honestly, between Days and Chain of Memories. I'm gonna give it to Days because with Chain of Memories, or at least Chain of Memories, I can play that game multiple times and I have fun with it. But with Days, I've only ever played that game once, and it hurt my thumbs. Maybe it's better playing on a 3DS as opposed to a regular DS. I don't know. But after I beat Days, I never wanted to play it again. There was no replay value in it to me. Like I just played through it to see the story of Roxas and Shion and whoever, and after that, it was whatever. Like, yeah, there's the multiplayer mission mode thing, but it's like, are you gonna have friends who play Kingdom Hearts who have this game who wants to team up with you on this DS? No, that's never gonna happen. If they were to remake Days on like the Switch, bruh, sign me the fuck up. I would be there day one for a Switch version of Days, with the online stuff and everything. But just the regular Days, no, it's a wrap for me. Like that's seventh place. So sixth place is Chain of Memories because I still have fun playing Chain of Memories, and I think the story is very endearing as a narrative. Like the whole missing memories, and Marluxia, and then like Marluxia is my favorite organization member. Um, Back in the day, it was mainly because he was the only main antagonist who wasn't some version of Xehanort. Of course, now he's been possessed by Xehanort, and his backstory is allocated entirely to Union Cross, which is disappointing and kind of just like disrespectful, but whatever. Back in the day, you know, Marluxia is that guy. I mean, I still fuck with Marluxia, don't get me wrong, but it's like, it was better before Union Cross and KH3. So Chain of Memories, I have a blast with it. Like it does take a little bit to get into it, but then after you get all the good attacks, all the good slates, all the good whatever, like it's a really fun game in my opinion. It's just fun to just knock through everything. Fifth place, controversial opinion, and fifth place is Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm actually surprised it's so high in my list, but like it's this high only because it's beating out the handheld games. You know, Like it's beating Chain of Memories and Recoded in 358 days. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 is a disappointing game. It's obviously lower than every of the main games that's gonna be in this list. It's the worst of the main games. Um, but like it still has good graphics. It still has new worlds. It still has fluid gameplay. None of these things I think were done really well. I don't really particularly like any of those aspects. Like the gameplay is not as refined as other games. And I was thinking about this the other day. Like in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, it feels like you're in charge of the gameplay, while in KH3, it feels like the gameplay is in charge of you. Like the game kind of waits until it wants to give you reaction commands that you can use for the combat. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason for when Goofy and Donald's abilities unlock, or like any partner ability unlocks, and just stuff like that. It just feels like it's random. It feels like you don't really have control over the system. Like the attacks don't really feel like you're hitting as hard as in 1 and 2. I don't know. Like the gameplay is fun to just dick around with it for a little bit, but I never found myself really challenged by it. Of course, they've released critical mode for it now, so that could release like change the game up. But I don't really see myself going back to it anytime soon. And this DLC stuff, the DLC is kind of blah to me, because like when you think about it, between the release of KH3 and this DLC, it's like winter 2019. So that's a whole year between the release, and they're giving us playable Aqua and Riku for one fight, both of whom were already playable in the initial game. One new Keyblade. Okay, Oathkeeper should have been in the initial fucking release. Oathkeeper is a staple of the series. That with Oblivion. I'm expecting a second DLC pack that has Oblivion in it, because why would we have these in the actual game? No, we gotta pay $20 for them. And then all the cutscenes with Xigbar and Luxord and Xehanort, this is either stuff that's gonna set up Union Cross stuff or KH4 stuff, or it's just not gonna matter at all. Like let's flash back to KH2 Funnel Mix with that scene with Xemnas talking to Aqua's armor. Did that go anywhere ever? No. It's been 14 years now, and if you asked me, oh, why did Xemnas have any like why did he care about Aqua? Like I wouldn't know. Like that whole thing was just to set up Birth by Sleep and get you hyped for that, but it didn't go anywhere. So all this stuff with Luxord and Xigbar and young Xehanort, like it's interesting. Like I want Luxord backstory stuff, but not like this. It's not gonna matter. But yeah, KH3 is 5th place. It's not really that great of a game in my opinion. Like they really dropped the ball. Square Enix needs to like reevaluate how they're supposed to make games these days, because it really is not a good game. 4th place is Dream Drop Distance. I really fuck with Dream Drop Distance. People hate it because of the drop system and everything, but I don't know. I liked it. Like the story was good. You got to see the whole progression of Riku's arc to becoming like a Keyblade master. I thought that was cool. Riku's always been like one of my favorite characters, so seeing Riku develop like that and become a hero that he should be, that was fucking fantastic. I mean, there's dumb stuff like time travel and everyone getting a Keyblade like Axel, but it still was a good story. Like when I finished the game, I felt satisfied with that experience. I was like, yeah, that was a good game. I felt kind of ripped off because Nomura did say there'd be only new Disney worlds. And then we got Space Paranoids 2.0 and Mysterious Tower as Symphony of Sorcery. So I felt kind of ripped off, but I was like, whatever, dude. Like, Symphony of Sorcery is fine. Don't try and tell me that the Grid and Space Paranoids are different worlds. Like, oh, but they're different movies. Like, it's still the same fucking shit, dude. Like, come on. Like, you definitely lied about that one. But it was still a good game. I didn't mind the drop system too much, and I thought it was a fun game. And I like the Dream Eaters. I just like playing as Riku, to be honest. His dark role is boss, man. I fucking love that. 3rd place is Birth by Sleep. Birth by Sleep is the game I've probably invested the most time of my life into, because I've played that game so many times. If this was a list on which game I've played the most, this would be 1st place. I really fucked with Terra Aqua and Ventus. Like, I played the shit out of this game. I found Mysterious Figures so many times. It was the first game I got the final mix for, because my friend like hacked my PSP or did whatever and like got me the final mix, and I was like, oh, thank you, man. Like, this is beautiful. I really liked it. Like, of course, the voice acting is Yeah, and then the plot in itself is kind of like cheesy at sometimes, but I adore Birth by Sleep. It was the first. Well, it wasn't the first game that came out after I became like a fan, but it was the first main game that came out after I became a fan. And so I was looking forward to this game, and I was really happy with it. And of course, it was 2010. I was in high school. Well, I just got no. I had just graduated high school. Um, so my mindset is that of like an 18-year-old's, but it's still. I feel like it still holds up. The PS3, PS4 ports don't really do it any justice because they didn't really do much to make it feel like a console experience. Like the blurbs are still really big, and it's like, yeah, this is definitely just a PSP game just blown up to a TV screen size. But I'm ignoring all of that. The Birth by Sleep is fucking fantastic. Second place is Kingdom Hearts 2. Not Kingdom Hearts 1. I bet you all thought Kingdom Hearts 2 was going to be in first place, huh? No, Kingdom Hearts 2 is in second place. Because the original Vanilla KH2, nah. I didn't really fuck with it. But Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix really stepped the game up, in my opinion. It added so much stuff that I didn't like about the initial game. It just added so much, man. All the new boss fights, the difficulty spike, it added limit form. It gave us dodge roll. Like, why was dodge roll not a thing in the initial release, bro? Like, I don't know why that was a thing. So they gave us dodge roll. They gave us the Cavern of Remembrance. And in Japan, this was bundled with Return of Memories. Like, they really went above and beyond with this release. But when I finished Vanilla Kingdom Hearts 2 back when I was a teenager, like, it didn't really leave a lasting impression with me. But the Final Mix, when I played it like a few years ago, I was like, yeah, no, this was a good experience, Like, the story's still not great. The Kingdom Hearts 2 story's pretty bad because it has super bad pacing issues and all that stuff. Like, but it's been over a decade, so I've gotten used to it. I mean, honestly, I might be able to say the same for KH3 10 years from now. It's like, yeah, I've gotten used to how bad KH3 was, and it might be higher on my list then. But right now, KH2 second place. I do respect KH2. The gameplay is phenomenal within this franchise. It's definitely the pinnacle of what we've gotten. Like, no game has gotten close to reaching the gameplay of KH2. Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't really hold a candle to it, in my opinion. It's just cluttered with nonsense that we didn't need, and it's just not as difficult. KH2 really had it all when it came to gameplay, as far as Final Mix is concerned. KH2 Final Mix is the pinnacle of Kingdom Hearts gameplay. And just for that, it has to be second place. And in first place, it is the original Kingdom Hearts 1. No game has been able to surpass the original game for me. I don't know what it is, but the initial game just had that charm, that magic, and it was crafted so well. Like, it doesn't surpass any of the other games in certain aspects. Like, of course, Kingdom Hearts 2 is going to have better gameplay, and like maybe some other game has better world choices or better dialogue or better whatever. But Kingdom Hearts 1, it might not do everything better than other games, but it does everything good. Every aspect of this game is good, in my opinion, whereas other games, it only does some things good. Like Kingdom Hearts 2, the gameplay is good, story is crap. Kingdom Hearts 1, both gameplay and story are good. It's an all-around kind of thing. It allocates all of its statistical points to every category, and overall, it's just a well-rounded experience, and it's fucking fantastic. Every other game does maybe one or two things better than it, but not everything better than it. And Kingdom Hearts 1 is gonna, unless they change how they make games, is gonna forever hold the candle for what makes a good Kingdom Hearts game. It just had that magic to it. It had, like, the story is nothing special, but these other newer games, they don't understand how a story goes. Like, you felt the progression of events in Kingdom Hearts 1. Like, you started off on the island, you went through some smaller Disney worlds, fought some Heartless, and then boom, the stakes were raised, Riku became evil, you fought now Ursula and Oogie Boogie and Jafar. Like, you could tell that the story was progressing. Kingdom Hearts 2 is like filler, midpoint, ending. Kingdom Hearts 3 is just filler, beginning and end. Kingdom Hearts 1 had that progression, and each world kind of mattered in its own special way. They tried to tie in each world's narrative into the overall overarching storyline, and they just did a really fantastic job with it. The gameplay, yeah, it's clunky by today's standards, but it still holds up in my opinion. Like if I were to pop in the disc right now and start it up, I would have fun. It's just a good game, especially with the final mix, especially with the PS4 port, like mapping everything to like triangle and reworking how some things control. Kingdom Hearts 1 is just gonna be the best game in the franchise to me. Like I'm not gonna change my mind until they make a better game. But even then, at this point, I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy the next game because Cage 3 kind of like deflated my my hype for the series. Like this DLC Remind, I'm not gonna buy that. I don't really want to give Square Enix more of my money. Like I've seen what they did with Final Fantasy 15, and I know they're gonna do the same thing for Cage 3. So I'm not gonna walk down that road again. Like they're gonna release DLC for Cage 3. If you buy it, cool, have fun with it. But I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that anymore. So the next game that comes out, it's not gonna be Cage 4 apparently. It's gonna be another like handheld game that's gonna bridge the gap, which is stupid, but whatever, they already made up their mind. If it comes out, I'll watch a review. I'll watch a walkthrough on YouTube. I won't buy it, but like I do want to know what happened with Luxord and Marluxia and Demyx. I want to see where the story goes, but I don't want to give Square my money anymore. But yeah, so that's my top 9. Union Cross, Coded, Days, Chain of Memories, Cage 3, Dream Job, Birth by Sleep, Cage 2, Cage 1. Write down in the description in the comments if you agree or not. Write your own least favorite to favorite. Do whatever. Just have a good night, and thanks for watching.